Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and today I'm excited that I am a guest designer for Not2Shabby, and I'm going to show you what I made with this new collection, Summer Sunshine, and their ephemera die cut pieces, and a new die set, and I'll show you that in a second. So Not2Shabby is available here, and then I'll also post that. I don't know if you can scan off the screen to see the latest promotions, but anyhow, that gives all of her socials for Not2Shabby. Of course, we'll put a link in the description box for all of the products that I'm going to show you today. Now, a little backstory: I was also able to play with this new mini album die set. It's a really unique design, and you guys know that I like to make mini albums, and sometimes you want to change things up. So using this die set, what really inspired me to make a couple of different things. I'm going to show you first what I made using this Summer Sunshine collection, and I'm going to actually start with a tutorial. I'll do a flip through at the end, and I actually also put photographs in the mini album so you can get an idea of how to use it for your photographs and your memories. So without any further ado, let's get started. To start, I'm going to make the pages. So I'm using 5 pages, so you'll need 5 pieces that are 4.5 by 8.5. I'm going to take this, put on the scoreboard, and with the 4.5 side at the top, score it at 1/2 inch and score it at 4. And then I'll rotate it and score it at 4.25. Now, one of the dies in the kit, so it's this one. What we need to do is put this on here. Now, yours will have a notch in it so you can line it up, but the best way I found of lining it up is to put this on, add a little piece of, I'm using some washi tape, just putting it on, making sure it's even. You can measure it to make sure it's even. I just put that on lightly and then hold it up and make sure that these dots line up with this line. So if you hold it up to the light, you can do that, and then just make sure you adhere it and keep it nice and straight, and then cut it so you will get a piece that is like that. So that is where the little die was. Now I'm going to take a pair of scissors. You could use your paper trimmer if you want, and I'm going to cut it a miter up to one of those score lines there, and same on that side. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go that way. And then I'm going to cut this one piece off. Just going to cut right on the score line and cut it off, and I'll do the same with this side. And then I'm going to miter the top here. All right, so do that with however many pages you're going to have. Like I said, I have 5. All right, you'll also need this piece, and for each page you'll need one of these. Now I needed to cut it smaller because my pages are 3.5, so I cut it down. Let's grab my ruler just so I can tell you. Oh, just a little bit under 3.5, 3 3/8, and then I rounded one of the corners. So that's how I used that. Now, let's make a hinge. This is the easiest hinge you'll ever make. I'm going to use my scoreboard. This piece is 2 3/8 by 8.5. With the 8.5 side at the top, I'm going to start at 1.5. And basically you're going to score, I'm going to end it at 6. Every 1/2 inch to 6. What this is going to be is there's going to be 1/2 inch hinges, and there's not going to be a gusset in between. Did I get the right number? No, I don't think I did. I'm going to fold on every other one. Yep, one more to 6.5. Sorry. So every 1/2 inch. So it'll be 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, and 6.5. Now, when I'm usually doing mini albums, I am going to glue my hinges together. You don't want to do that in this case. So I'll fold those hinges like an accordion and use my bone folder and burnish. So what will happen is we're going to take our little piece that we've cut, and I'm not going to glue it yet, but you'll fold these in and burnish. And you will take where this opening is and put it, and then you'll take your little assembly piece, and this will go in here. Okay, so that's going to hold it on the hinge. So put all of the pieces in. I already started another one, so let me work with that one. So here we are. So I will take the next one and fold and burnish on my score lines just so it's all ready. And so here's the hinge. I'm going to fold that up, put this in, take my little assembly piece and put it in there. And that will hold it open. Now, when I'm done with that part, I'm going to glue it. And to do that, I'm going to glue this piece down. I didn't do this in all the other ones, but what happens is, because this is going to be open and I'm going to have it as a hidden pocket page, I didn't want the pocket to go any further than this. So that's why I'm gluing it here. So now I'll put these down, add glue on this tab and on this one, and add glue here, and then fold over this other piece, making sure it's straight on my little hinge, and there we go, and burnish. So now we have 2 pages. So we'll add the other ones to this, and that's how we get our page assembly. All right, we're going to wrap our covers. Now I'm using some pieces of lightweight chipboard. Think of cereal box, cracker box, that kind of weight. You could use heavyweight, but you know, it's just a little thing, so you don't have to. Now I've already covered one, so we're going to do another one together. So for the chipboard, you'll need a piece that's 3 3/4 by 4 1/2, and to cover it, the cardstock will be 6 1/2 by 5 1/2. I'm going to turn that over, and I am going to add glue. Now usually, you know, I use double-sided tape for my covers, but again, this was just a fun little thing that you can put in another album. So I'm just using liquid adhesive, and I'm just centering this on here as best I can. I'll burnish that. And then I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut off the corners, staying about 1/8 of an inch away from the actual chipboard. You don't want to go right up to it, or else the chipboard will show. But you know what? If that happens, just take one of these corners and just glue it right on there, and nobody will know. Nobody will know. All right. I'm going to burnish these just by using my surface. And then I will add glue, and I'll start at the right against the chipboard. That helps moisten the fiber so it sticks. I'll do both of them at the same time, both of the long pieces first, and then I'll do the short. It's just a habit of mine. So I'll take my bone folder, push against the chipboard, and then fold it down. Now I do have some glue coming out, so I want to make sure I clean off my bone folder so it doesn't get everywhere. And I'll do the same with the other side. And then I'll take my bone folder and just push in at this corner just so it folds a little easier. It's a little moistened with the liquid adhesive. And I will go around the perimeter of this side and next to the chipboard and zigzag a little. Fold this over and burnish. I'm going to burnish the corners all at once because I'll probably get some glue. So then I'll just go right there, right here. And then I'll go to the top of all four sides. And there we go. All right, we're going to cover these with paper, but before we do that, we're going to add our pages. So here is our pages. Now they're all 5 of them. And I'm going to just make sure they're all flat, burnish that. I will add some liquid adhesive here. And I'm going to line this up with the side and make sure it's centered on my book. I'm going to use the surface and make sure it's all justified over to the left side. And I'll do the same with this. Oops. And put this piece like that and line this up with the other cover that we've already made. So I'll burnish that and then I'll open this and burnish this as well. Okay, now we've got the book all put together, but before I decorate it, I want to show you how to make a closure with one of the dies. So I don't want to cut out this side, so I'm going to have that go over the edge. I'm going to allow myself enough room just in case I get it wonky, and then that way I can fix it. So I have a small plate. I know I usually use a big one, but it's easier for this purpose. Just make sure I get it. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. But it's not cut out here, so I'm just gonna, at this point, take my scissors and cut it. I suppose I could put it on a paper trimmer. It's probably what I should have done. All right. And then I don't need this whole thing to be the flap. I mean, the piece itself is, let's see, about 2.5 inches, but I really don't need that whole thing. So I'm going to grab my scoring tool. And starting from 2. I'm going to score it five 1/8 inch pieces, because this will allow some flexibility to it. So that is what I'm going to do with that. And then I'm going to miter here up to that first score line. I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. So I'm going to attach this part to the side, to the right side of the cover before I decorate it. And then that'll give us some flexibility to it. Of course, I'll decorate this part, and I don't need to do that. I'll decorate the front and the back, and I'll put a magnet on here. I'm showing you here how I put this closure on there, although this one doesn't have the 5 score lines, but it's the same thing. You just take it to the first score line and glue it on the outside of the back cover. Make sure it's all straight. I'm lining it up here. And then when it's all where you want it to be, go ahead and burnish it, and then cover it with pattern paper as usual. Now I'm going to make photo mats for the hidden pocket pages. So to do that, we want to take a piece. Now it's going to be about 4 1/4, 4 1/2. I'll have to measure it again. But I want this to be the top part, so this is where you see to pull it out. I'll probably put a hole there and make it, put a piece of ribbon on there. So what I want to do is, I don't want it to cut this, so this has to be off the edge. Now let me grab my tape to tape everything nice and straight. Alright, so this is going to go off the edge. I'm going to tape it here. I mean off the edge of the cutting plate. Take my little piece. And there we go. Again, we've got this. So this time I will use my paper trimmer. So I'm going to line this up. And line this side up. And there we go. Now all you have to do is figure out how big you need it to be and trim it down. So I think I need 4 1/4. I'll double check it, and then I'll cut it at that. So even though there's just the stitched part on the here, that's okay, because if you add photos, nobody'll notice. And also, instead of cutting it out on cardstock, you can cut it straight out of your pattern paper. Just double check the orientation. So I'm going to cut 4 more, and I'll put them in the book, and then we'll do a quick walkthrough before I finish decorating the little album. All right, and before I show you the project, I'm going to show you what I'm working with to decorate it. This is obviously from Not2Shabby. The collection is called Summer Sunshine, so there's 12 designs. I have already cut into some of this, so I'm going to show you some of what's left. So just bright, colorful summer icons. Look at that. That's beautiful. Love the pineapples. The bathing suits with polka dots, hats, and flip-flops, and then no shed glitter paper. So that's what it is. And there are die cut pieces that are really pretty. The life preserver, there's a pretty pineapple, a bathing suit, some goggles, beach chair with an umbrella, lemonade, picnic basket with a book. Oh, there's another lemonade. Another pineapple, a cold citrus drink. Oh, that must be key lime pie, popsicle, basket with fruit, cupcake, and then more. Now, I did put some on but I have an idea of what photos I'm going to use. So I'm going to show you the book, decorate it with the paper, and then I'm going to go back in, print out some photos, and give you an idea of what it can look like with some photos, because I've got some that I think would work perfectly with this. So let me show you the completed book. All right, so here we are. So it's not really a book, it's just a little flip album. So anyhow, here's the cover. I've got this on the side. I do use a magnet to hold it. So this green no shed glitter paper is on there. And then we've got Summer Sunshine. I've got the green underneath here, and this has the life preservers and the palm trees, and just a grouping of some other of the icons. And then we open it up. And so here we've got the beach hat, the sunglasses, and more of the sunglasses and some of the shapes or some of the stripes. What I like to do, if I cut this apart, and then I can replicate that same design on the other page with another design, just to sort of pull it all together. Now, of course, there's 5 pages, and each one has one of these pullouts, so that gives you more room to add photos or journaling. I did use actually I had some white seam binding that I just dyed with some ink that I had, and there is just a circle. I just punched a hole in it and put it in there. So now I've got these flips that I don't have a magnet holding it down, but that's okay. And this will give you room to journal on or even add really small photos. So here's just another picture that goes with that. Loved this paper with the popsicles. Oh, that makes my mouth water. So just a couple more of the images from the ephemera, and that'll open like that as well. And here is the hidden photo mat in there. Sort of a beachy vibe here. Here's the umbrella with a chair, and this is the bathing suit paper and some flip-flops or sandals. There's that. So these are fun. They're sunglasses, but they look like oranges, which I know I have the perfect picture for this. Anyhow, I put some sunglasses up there. I did continue this paper over there, and there is a sun hat. And there is that. Now this page had another flap. Oops, I didn't put anything there. I will. And this yummy ice cream cone paper. And I just put a little gift there because I just had something in mind. Now here is that little flap that folds over, and there is the back. I put this stripe paper on the bottom, the sun paper on the top, just a little strip of the no shed yellow glitter, and just a little lemon with one of the ephemeras there. I just think that looks really pretty together. All right, now if you'd like to stay and see what this could look like with photos, then I will show you that in just a second. All right, so here is the little mini flip book. It is the story of a lemonade stand. So you can see why I loved the paper for this. It's bright and colorful, and which is perfect for kids' lemonade stand. So I still have the lemonade, and I added a lemon here, the same one that's on the back. So this will open like that and like that. And I also started journaling. The way I journal is put it on the computer and print it out. It's the easiest way. So I still need to add a couple more photos. I have to dig them up. But it's about the story of the kids who put their money together with some help from Grandpa. They built their lemonade stand, and that's getting it all together. Here is the finished product, some pictures, just some close-ups. I need another one here. Like I said, I have to dig a couple up. I don't know, it's a summer picture. I thought it would go nice. Here's the picture with the oranges for eyeglasses, which is perfect for this page. I just thought it was a lot of fun. And then again, I need to dig up another picture. I know I have one of kids drinking lemonade, so I thought I would put that there. And this says, I need to make that bigger, but it says, by the end of the summer, they had enough to spend at the water park and even treated Mom and Dad to some ice cream. So this ice cream paper is perfect. Maybe I can, I don't know, maybe I'll find a picture of ice cream or going out to dinner or something and put it here. So there we go. There is that. Thanks so much to Not2Shabby, to Jamie and Lynn, for letting me play with these fabulous products. The Summer Sunshine paper plus the ephemera was beautiful, and as you can see, I still have a lot left over that I might make some cards. I might make another one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it's fun and it's colorful and it's bright. And here is the mini album dies, and I have another project coming up to show you different ways of using the same die, and some of these other things are really fabulous that goes there. So stay tuned. There will be another video using the same die set, but just with some different paper. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous day.